Welcome. This is the home of Jaynie Schultz.
My name is Jaynie Schultz, and this is my home. I live here with my husband and my children who come and go from college and life. I'm working with City Lab High School Foundation. I'm the board chair of that. And I'm also on our Dallas City Plan Commission for District 11.
I'm the Assistant Director for the Office of Sustainability and Environmental Quality at the City of Dallas, and we're so excited to be here today at the home of Jaynie Schultz. We are here as part of the North Texas Renewable Energy Group Solar Tour, which will be virtual this year. And so we wanted to visit a little bit with my friend Jaynie about her experience in implementing solar on her home.
I've always been interested in renewable energy in every way. I had been waiting and waiting for solar to come to Dallas. We actually met some people who lived in Los Angeles and they had worked with Solar City, so I kept waiting, and as soon as they announced that they were coming here, I believe we were among the very first installations they ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we've leased our panels, we leased our whole system with Solar City, and the reason that we decided to lease it is because we didn't want to put up any cash up front. And so it minimized our investment significantly. It was almost nothing to put down, and we signed a 20-year lease for these panels, so that's how it works. And my bills come just like they did before from the energy company. So it's a two-bill process.
Okay.
I get one from my relationship with Solar City.
Okay.
So they bill me, but we have a locked-in rate for 20 years. I can actually switch my provider just because Texas choice, and so I have switched it, and now we have a separate bill from that. I mean, I was worried about the fact that it's on my roof and who was responsible for the roof, and in fact they are responsible for the roof and everything under it. So for example, we started getting a lot of squirrels for the first time. We've had our panels now for 4 years, I believe it is. We hadn't noticed anything before, but we did, and so we called them and they came out and installed these squirrel guards that are amazing. And so they actually are responsible for my roof. And also they come once a year and clean them so that it maximizes the efficiency. And that's another advantage of leasing. The squirrel guards, the cleaning, I don't have to pay for any of that. They just come out and do it because it's part of the lease. So what happened was, when I actually reached out to Solar City and told them that I was interested in having a system put in, and they came out and measured my my roof. And they said to me, one of the interesting things about it is I could have as large or small of an installation as I wanted based on their measurements of what the sun and their possibilities are. So I said, if you're doing it, just let's go big. This is Dallas, let's go big. And so they were able to put 126 panels on my roof. And they came out and measured everything and set it all up, again, all outside, so I didn't even have to be here, although of course I was. Before they installed, of course, we negotiated the lease, and which was a very simple process, and it was mostly about what was going to be my rate for 20 years, because it is a 20-year lease.
Wow.
And one of the nice things about it is that every 5 years I have the option of buying the system if I would like to. And then I wouldn't pay them anything. I'm actually coming up on a 5-year on 2021, but I think I'm going to stay with this because their service is incredible. It's Tesla now.
Okay.
And so their service is incredible. I have an app on my phone that I monitor. They worked with Encore, and they got all the Encore permissions, and they did everything with the city, and it was not a problem at all, even though ours was one of the very first ones in Dallas. So we were breaking ground throughout the whole thing. Even Encore was like, we don't know how to do this, but they did it, and it's been great. I mean, it's been a complete win for us, and I'm very happy about it. I don't know why anybody wouldn't either buy their own or lease or whatever it is that they choose to do for their own financial situation. I'll be very clear about it. We try to be careful, but we're not at all extreme. I keep thinking of the days of Jimmy Carter, 68 and 78, and we're not quite there, but we do save about $200 a month off of our bill, which was a large bill before. But that's been a significant savings for us every year. But for us, it's not even as much about the savings as it is just why not? Why not do the right thing? Why not use this solar power? Why not save a little bit of money? There's no hassle to it. It's great service, and it's a win, as you said.
So the first question, Jaynie, is who did your garage door?
So I love telling this
Video was
story.
off. Didn't see it till now. Oh well.
Yeah, yeah. So I love telling this story because especially to this group, because a while ago I got a zoning case where they wanted to tear down an office building and put a mini warehouse. And I said, you know, we're not really going to do that anymore in District 11, no more mini warehouses, but I'll help you figure out what to do with this building. And it ended up becoming the Goldmark Cultural Center, which is on Goldmark. And if you don't know it, I highly recommend you checking it out. There's now about 40 plus artists who have housing there. And one of them was a young man who's just getting started. And so I hired him to do my garage doors. And he came out 2 years ago and did it, and he just did a fabulous job. So it's through the Goldmark Cultural Center.
Right.
Yes, yes.
That's an excellent story about repurposing
Buildings
that
yes.
first thing they want to do is tear it down, right?
Right, that's the
And-
easiest thing.
And our social services, we just need to be able to expand on those and allow them to be available to our communities. And that's just a phenomenal story, and I'm glad to hear it, that there's
Thank you,
opportunities
yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Even out here, because I'm located at Cedar Creek Lake, which is 60 miles southeast of Dallas, and even out here we need venues like that, right? And
Right, and artists are always looking for places where they can work and be in an affordable way. So for sure, it's a good way to keep a building maintained too, because they always enhance it.
Okay, so we've got another question. This is from James Orenstein. It is the lease an actual physical equipment lease or a solar lease, which is more like a power purchase agreement?
No, they own everything. They own it. I do not. In fact, I don't purchase my electricity through them. I purchase it through the Texas Choice. You know, I can choose whoever I want. I happen to be using MP2 because they gave me a better rate than I had been with Green Mountain forever. But MP2 gave me a much better rate, and I called I called Green Mountain, asked them, you know, said, this is the offer I got from a company I don't like as much. And they said, well, go with them. So yes. So to answer your question, James, I don't own anything on my roof.
Okay. I'm trying to see if
could you pull up the data sheet for this, because I was just wanting to take a look.
I can try.
The reason is do you know what kind of equipment you have on the roof? I mean, what was installed and how many watts and all that kind of good. I'm a technical guy, so I'm always interested in that. So I was figuring the data sheet might be good.
It says 31.875 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Solar Edge is, no, that's the AU Optronics is the panel.
Yeah, you have it open right now?
I do.
Yeah, okay, I see it. You want to scroll, can you, yeah, there you go. Wow. Yeah, I'm not familiar with AU. AU usually stands for Australia.
No, it's a company. It's
in the United States?
Korean or Chinese or something. I've heard of them.
Okay. So, yeah, and Solar Edge did make their own inverters back then.
But
now Tesla does. So, but 31.8 kW, that's a large system.
That's like a warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said
So
it's the largest, at least the last time I heard, they said it's the largest residential installation in the state.
It is a large residential system. There's no doubt about that. Usually
Yeah.
The average we see in the Dallas Metroplex is like 6 to 8 kilowatts. You know, a large one is 10 to 12.
Yeah, I think
You have to have the real estate on the roof, of course, to be able to.
even Ross Melbourne's installation is like 20 or 25 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I told them in the last, I was looking at my I was looking on my Tesla thing, and let's see, in the lifetime of my unit, which is from 2016, it has produced 153,821 kilowatts.
Wow. So does Tesla on their dashboard, do they show you kind of what your carbon offsets are, your environmental? No?
It's a terrible app. Maybe
Yeah.
if I went online, but the app is just nothing other than your output and service requests.
So, that'd be a great thing for you to get to understand what your carbon offset has been since you've installed that.
Yeah.
There's a real easy app. I can send it to you afterwards. It's from the Department of Energy, and all you do is you type in your kilowatt hours you've used, and it'll show you what your offsets
Oh,
are.
I'd love to. Yeah, it's a cheap feel good.
Me too, please.
So I just need to have your email, and I think I have it in our spreadsheet. Okay, so you've been happy overall.
Oh, it's great. And look, for someone, I'm a good example of like a person who just wants to do the right thing. I have no technical expertise or interest, frankly. I just want to, save the bees and plant the right plants and put solar and, those things. And I think that I am probably representative of a bigger majority than people who are deeply committed to, one thing or another, one process or another of saving the world. They just want to do their little part. And so this has been a great way to do it because it takes nothing from me, not even money, right? I mean, I may not save as much as someone who paid for it all, but it didn't really take anything, away from me and yet gave me the chance to feel like I was doing what I should be doing as, as a person on the planet.
I'm trying to find that link to the DOE energy calculator and environmental offset and put it in the chat so it's available for everyone.
I mean, I think for y'all's work as, people involved with solar energy, I think that people think it's a lot harder than it is. And that's the key, is letting them realize it's really nothing. And in fact, again, like with my roof, it's been great because I'm not even responsible for my roof anymore.
Yeah, so in saying that, did your insurance rates go down at all?
No, they did not. But I will tell you this, when the tornado passed through my neighborhood and so many houses right near me were devastated, I don't know if you did. It's Lisa, right?
Lisa, yeah.
Lisa, I'm sorry. Lisa, I don't know if you're home. I hope not.
No, we were lucky, for sure.
Yeah, and I think actually I'm totally making this up, but I'm wondering whether or not the depth of engagement with my roof and the weight of the panels, if that had anything to do with the fact that I had zero roof damage at all.
Did you see any change in production as far as on a daily basis? Because, it's possible. I worked on a small project. They had to replace all of their solar panels because they had microfractures from that event, and so all the flying debris and everything actually, and the stress, exactly, from Lissa, the stressing from the flexing of the panels with the wind load, right?
Yeah,
going over and under.
Was that in the tornado or a different storm?
No, it was the tornado. Yeah.
I mean, I can go back and look, but I called them right after to have them come out and check it. And they did. They came out right away.
Oh, that's good.
And they said I had no damage.
Now he was set up in such a way. He had solar plus storage, and what was happening is that he had lost his ability to store properly, but then any of his offset or additional production was not going back on the grid. And so that's when he realized he had an issue, and then they came out and it was an insurance claim. So they were able to replace all the modules, with the insurance claim.
Yeah. Oh, that's good then. Yeah, I know it's in my insurance. I was trying to look on the app to see what October of last year and this year, if there's any difference, but I couldn't get to it. Yeah.
trying to think if there was.
Well, it's
look in that.
interesting. A little further along North Haven, across from the J, there are one or two, or near across from the J, there are one or two houses that had solar that still seem to be intact after the storm.
Yeah, I talked to those neighbors. That's actually one of the neighbors that, chose solar after seeing our house.
Uh-huh.
And theirs was fine also. And they, the houses on both sides of theirs really got damaged. So
Wow.
who knows?
No.
Yeah.
That was one question I was going to ask you, Jaynie, and it's one that came up in the earlier session, is whether you had gotten any feedback from neighbors, not on your zinnias, but on your roof and on your solar, and if anyone had followed you in going solar after you installed.
Yeah, two neighbors have. And one of them, you mentioned Lissa. And then another neighbor actually put it on their house. And this was interesting because when they went to sell their house, the buyers didn't want the panels. Mm-hmm. And so they did end up getting into a big discussion with Solar City because they had signed a lease also. And they ended up being able to take them off, but that was only after really, like they shouldn't have, but they did. So they took them off and the new neighbor didn't want them. And they've sold the house like 2 times since then anyway, so.
Well,
Yeah.
A lease is an additional financial complication that maybe it's just, it's the straw that broke the camel's back with people when they're doing buying a house. They think that's another big responsibility, even if it's not. But.
Yeah, or so that, or I'm sorry, I don't know how to copy that. Maybe could I?
No,
sorry to copy that.
You're talking about the that greenhouse gas calculator I just sent you.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture and send it to you.
You can see. At the bottom of the chat, you should see a little box that says File, and next to that, there's 3 little dots. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you click on the dots, it says Save Chat. So at the end of a meeting, you can always save all the comments up above in a file that's stored on your computer, and then you can pull it up and you'll have direct access.
That is good.
Or another way to do this is, I don't know what kind of computer you have. I'm a Mac guy. And so you can just do a quick screenshot of that component, and then it's a PDF file, and you can
I
print
just
that
did
out.
that. That's the better way. Thank you. So Lisa, to your point.
Glad to be of service. And I apologize. I said it's not the DOE, it's the EPA. So I said
That's
DOE
why we were
greenhouse.
confused.
That's why I'm always confused. You know that, Lisa.
That's the only reason, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think, in that whole emotional piece of buying and selling a house, anything that seems to make anything more complicated. And that meant that when they were buying the house, they were going to have to engage in a 20-year lease or whatever. It may not have even been about the panels. It could have been anything.
Yeah.
But it didn't cost them anything.
Well, but see, the fellow that I was just moderating the session for, Jim Cochran, specifically said, I just bought the panels, I could, and I didn't want to make it, that would make, the next person who bought the house have to buy them, and I just didn't want to have to deal with it.
Right. Look, if I had wanted to put out the cash, and I have a decision to make coming up, because in 2021, I have the option to buy mine. And here, this is another good service maybe for y'all, I don't know, but I have no idea how to even think about this.
Well, you probably wouldn't be eligible for the ITC because it's not a new installation. So, one of the big things people like is a tax break. But.
Right. And so, but maybe that's some service that y'all could offer, is that you who are technically interested in this might be willing to say, we'll look at this and see. We can't make a recommendation because we don't want to be held liable for it, but we could tell you, our thoughts or factors to think about if you are in that conversion process, because Solar City has, thousands of leases all over the region now, because they did
future NTREG.
Exactly. I'm saying
topic. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, we can find somebody who's good in finance and figure out how to make money off of it.
Right. And also, and also look at my contract, you know, lawyer, an energy lawyer or something.
Well,
Yeah,
we have
that'd
a
be,
good
and I
lawyer
pay
that's
for
part of our
that.
group.
I pay, you know, I pay a few $100s to determine whether or not I could be saving thousands or just stay with what I've got, for sure.
I think the benefit you have right now is the fact that they're liable all the way through the life.
Right.
That they'll come out and they've already evidenced that they will come in service.
Yep.
If it's still with Solar City, which is now Tesla, they
Right.
are not. I mean, it doesn't mean that they'll be as prompt as they're building their business, you know, and they are a big conglomerate now. But the thing is that they want to protect their name and everything like that. And so I wouldn't want you against me.
Right. Well, you know, and they come every year and clean them without me having to even ask for it. They check all the connections and
That's good.
clean the panels, and you know, I don't have to do anything. So that's the other real side. And so for me, you know, to be able to save a couple $100s a month, I'm happy to do my part to contribute on the solar piece, if it is my part.
Well, the thing is you don't have you'd have to go out and find some that would provide you a service for
Right.
operations and maintenance, right?
Right.
It's
which is
now
gonna
built in.
cost
It's
me-
built into your 21-year lease, and so
Exactly.
and how much is that going to cost? And you know that's part of that financial evaluation you would have to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
On the other hand, you could contract with Tracy Wallace's group, you know, and give people in training,
Yeah.
practice with maintaining.
We're talking about Green Careers Dallas, so
Yeah, I
I'll
can
do a
never
shameless
I can
plug.
never think of the new name. It's like, I
Well,
was
I
stumbling.
was going to say, I don't know if Jaynie's familiar with them or not.
I'm not. Tell me.
Um,
Go ahead.
well, no, I'll let you, Susan, because you're very involved, and we appreciate your support so much. Thank you.
Well, but you may know more about what Tracy's up to than I do, so that's why I would defer to you.
Yeah, since I helped get the sausage made, I'm a co-founder of Green Careers Dallas, and we started off focused on providing training for the low-income community of South Dallas, which is the most economically challenged community in Dallas. And so we've been doing this. We're going on to our 4th year. We've had several trainings, but that's, you know, we're a nonprofit. Our hands are always out. But right now what we're doing is we actually have done some joint trainings with Dallas College now, but we're getting ready to go back, even in the times of COVID, as we're building our own facility for training, hands-on
Wow.
training, small groups, you know, 5 to 6 students, no more than 10 at a time, and actually being on a roof environment where we're teaching training, safety. That's the primary
Wow.
focus. And so, and the individuals are coming out of the South Dallas community, all ages, men and women, veterans, but they're challenged financially. And so we offer scholarships, and that's one of the reasons that we have our hand out, because it helps
Sure.
pay, because nothing is free, and we do have trainers
Sure.
that come in. They're all certified, and so that's what we're doing. We're building it. We're hoping to have the facility up by mid-October, if not the end of October. So
Wow.
we're going to try and have our next training by the end of this year. We'll have news announcements out and everything like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a great opportunity because South Dallas gets overlooked so much.
Yeah.
No offense, Susan.
I'm not
but-
offended a bit.
You know what, Michael, will you add my name to your mailing list?
Oh, sure. I'll turn you over to Tracy Wallace. And actually, if you have an opportunity to join her presentation at her house at 4 o'clock, I believe 3:30 this afternoon. She's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
She's our executive director.
Okay.
And she's showing her house, which is, we had a couple of our students go on. So our big initiative is we want to work with the installers that are in Dallas to actually hire our graduates, because they understand solar and how it gets installed, the safety issues associated
Sure.
with it. So, you know, they're not just someone off the street, because everyone's looking for employees. And the thing is that usually with the solar industry and installers, even the people that are up on the roof, they're making at least $15 an hour, if not more.
That's great.
So that's the basic minimum wage that we're trying to go after.
Yeah,
And then, if they can stay on that job, it's a career path. Because it's not just being an installer. Then you can, if you get the incentive, you might become an electrician's journeyman.
Right.
You can go into warehouse management.
Absolutely.
Sales. I mean, but you have to start somewhere.
That's great. Yeah, and we could also connect them with City Lab, Susan.
We can do, I hadn't thought about City Lab but until you said that, but we're actually working with our Office of
Thank you for the plug.
to get some of the graduates connected with some of the minority contractors that the city works with.
That's great.
What is City Lab?
City Lab, go ahead.
Go. No, Jaynie should talk about it.
I'm the board chair. City Lab is a DISD high school downtown Dallas. That's a choice model school for architecture, urban planning, and environmental sustainability. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to create opportunities for students to get as many certifications as possible while they're in high school, so that when they go on to college or not, they have ways that they can have jobs right out of high school.
There's been two things that have come up today. I think that's fantastic. And so one of the things is about young people getting involved in career paths that are focused with, we have this 2050 initiative, 2030 initiative. Mm-hmm. And, it's how do we get our workforce focused and moving in that direction? And so, Lissa, I throw this out to you as a fellow board member within TRG, is maybe we have a student membership that's free for high school students and for our junior college, Dallas College, so that they can start attending our meetings, because we're basically out of the professions, and so we're a lot older. And so, we want to be able to attract youth and young people back in, and so that they understand what's going on. So we have more, what I'm going to say, conversions as far as for renewability and sustainability. Yeah. So I throw that out to you if that's something you think it would be worthwhile. I throw it to Lissa as a board of discussion topic for the next meeting.
Yeah. I'd also like to have someone, again, get in touch with me, because I'd like to have someone be available to speak to the students, about solar power, about solar energy, about careers, all of it. And so if we could have y'all on the mailing list for that, that'd be great.
We are developing a speakers bureau. We have some great speakers, and we'll be willing to come talk. As we get the schedules straight,
Perfect.
We're there.
I would think even well, I guess it's next week. That's pretty soon, the EV talk. But if that school is meeting, I would think those kids would. It's a Zoom meeting. But
what I'll do
in electric cars.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you send me something, I'll send it over to the curriculum folks, because our foundation is only supporting the school. We stay out of the actual academics.
Understood.
We'll let them do their job, but I'll send it to them as a resource that they could share with their students, and maybe for their class, watch the meeting or the presentation, whatever. Yeah.
Do you mind putting I'll put my email in here as well as yours, and we can. We'll get that.
Yeah, mine's just Jaynie at JaynieSchultz.com. It's simple.
Yeah, do we have that?
I think so. I think it's in the spreadsheet.
If not, that's it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, and I'm mjfladmark@gmail.com.
Okay,
so,
great. So I think our time is up. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Technically, yeah.
Thanks for joining, guys.
That was good. Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you all for including me, and hopefully next year we'll be able to sit on the back deck and have
you have a lovely garden. I'm going to show your garden to my wife, because we sit out here in the country and we have a big perennial garden as well. And
on the Waterwise landscape tour as well.
Yeah.
And your zinnia garden is, we love our zinnias, because the best thing about zinnias this time of year and in the spring is that you can cut the flowers and bring them inside, right?
That's what they want, and they last really for a long time. Like this. Now it's spider lilies, or what I've got.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Fantastic.
They're gorgeous. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you.
Pleasure
Great
to meet
work.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, bye.